everyone, it's another edition of Let's Chat Live. I'm your host, Tonya Lightbourne, and my guest today is Tyrina Neely.
Yes.
She's a foodie, I want to say, foodie.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrina and I have known each other for at least about 10 years, and in that time, she traveled. So I want to call her a Travelista.
I'll take
Three
it.
children.
Yeah.
Do you travel as much anymore?
No.
Oh, thank God, like you celebrated that in your previous life.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was.
And you hit the nail on the head. It was a previous life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's a foodie. Because she can cook. She can cook. A foodie, a travelista. She is now, well, she's always been actually a boss. Like she's always been an entrepreneur, always. From her prima donna days to PR and marketing. Now she has her own PR firm. Now she's a newlywed now. So congratulations, bling bling. She's a newlywed, so we have that in common as well. We have 2 kids in common as well. The only difference is she has 2 boys. Bless her heart. And I have 2 girls. Bless my heart, because girls are, they're a lot.
Yeah.
But we love them regardless. Welcome to Let's Chat Live.
Thank you.
I'm so excited you're here.
Me too.
You carved out 2 minutes out of your busy schedule to hang out with us.
Yeah.
So this is going to be good.
Yes, I'm excited.
So usually I would ask my guests to tell me, like describe themselves in 3 words or tell me a little bit about themselves. I am going to ask you, how would your parents describe you?
Ha ha ha. That's funny because Mom was recently describing me. This marriage journey we worked out together for like several months, preparing for the wedding.
Because body is snatched.
Well,
Body
something
is
like that.
snatched.
Listen, kids will wreck your body.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
and so she described me. One of the words she used was determined, which was nice.
Yeah.
From I was a child, and I still think to this day they would describe me as fast on my mouth.
That's probably how you got on this whole entrepreneurial journey.
Listen, that's
like,
how I catch money cutter.
You.
And how I get myself in trouble sometimes. And I would hope kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those 3 words.
Okay. And that's how your parents would describe. So
I
good.
think so.
Good, right? Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Like, what was your childhood like?
So I grew up in the family homestead, I guess.
Mhm.
So it's like myself, my brother at the time, before my younger siblings were born.
Yeah.
My grandmother, my 2 aunts lived with us, 2 uncles lived with us. So it was like a house full of people, a full house. And so that was a lot of fun. Like in the morning, you get up, you go to the kitchen, Grammy makes breakfast, that kind of thing. Our great grandmother lived with us too.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful experience, I think.
That's
growing up.
definitely unique.
Yeah. And then, just watching my parents progress as a couple.
Okay.
We watched them do everything. They had us young. I think my parents got married when they were like, my mom may have been 21, 22.
Wow.
Right? And so, yeah, like that's what my childhood was like, watching them build their first house and save up, and watching my dad study for a CPA, and their little struggle eating, corned beef and rice every day because they trying to do things.
Yeah.
And so that's what childhood was like. It was a solid family, and I think that really helped me as an adult and like just growing up in my progression.
Yeah. Were your parents both entrepreneurs?
So not always. They are now.
Okay.
My mother was a receptionist for many years. Well, for some years, in an insurance company, and then she became an insurance agent and then an insurance manager, and then she opened her own insurance company. And my father never really went to college, but he studied for his CPA, and he got his CPA without a college degree. I think they don't allow people to do that anymore.
No,
but I don't know why they wouldn't, because if you know the stuff, you know the stuff.
You know the stuff, yeah.
And he worked in finance and accounting and risk management, and now he owns his own risk management company. Yeah.
So what other steps would you go in? Like,
it's osmosis. I feel like it's so important to have your kids close to you, because you learn so much by being around. I just feel like we learn through osmosis, just watching how people move as opposed to them telling you.
Yeah.
Just kind of seeing it firsthand. And so that's one thing I try to store in my brain. Like, remember, you used to go to all these appointments with your mom, and summers you sit in the office talking about, good morning, Karina Neely's office. Would you like some water with lemon? You know, but you learn.
Is that what she trained you to say?
She's like, you offer them water, you offer them lemon. It's like, yes, I did.
Like,
But that's how you learn how to serve and how to be professional, and you
learn from early on.
Yeah.
And you learn by example, because they could tell you, okay, when you're in business, or you do this, and do the next thing. But if you see them do it, it's like, so that's how you do what she's been asking me to do.
Yeah.
It's almost like practice what you preach.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your kids.
The little babies.
Mm-hmm.
So my first son, Luca, he is 2, almost 3.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be 3 in June. Mm-hmm. And then Azai, he is 1, so maybe like 13, 14 months. I'm not good with that.
Yeah, you had them like this.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like,
listen,
this is life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you fast.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't say that a pregnancy was unplanned, but honestly, we ain't planning a pregnancy. It just happened.
And you just roll with it.
What can you do?
What can you do? Exactly.
What can you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they're just amazing. They're just really beautiful boys. I always call them my 2 beautiful boys.
All right. What would you say is unique about each of them? Like one thing that's unique to each of them.
Luca is, I don't know if this is I find him to be very empathetic. Like, when he became an older brother, I think it feels like he empathizes with Azai, and he almost instinctively like looks out for him, and Azai can't cry without him. Mommy, Zai cry.
Yeah.
So he kind of has this like empathetic thing about him, and he's like very determined.
Yeah.
From he was very young, everybody says he's a very determined kid.
Yeah.
And Azai is just the original gangster. He is just that's his Nana's nickname for him, the OG. He is just, what is the word to describe that? He just
strong-willed?
Strong-willed. Yes, that's it, Tonya.
That's how I feel about Riley.
Is it like
she will tightrope walk on your nerves. And it's like this is oh, look, this is mommy's nerve. Let me just press it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Azai. Very strong-willed. Just my little dumpling. Strong-willed, but just really cute and sweet and kind of
it's like, come here. Do you need a hug? This is probably why you're screaming.
Give mommy kissy boo.
Wow. What would you say? What would you say has been the main difference between your parenting style and your parents' parenting style? Like, if they were to, I don't know, if you're disciplining your kids, or if there's a scenario, and they would deal with it one way, and now come full circle, you would deal with it another way.
A different way. Maybe like the concept of discipline. And this is something Saran and I actually have spoken about a lot. So Luca threw really, really horrible tantrums. I mean, we're just now
getting out of it.
And it was to the point where I'm like, do we need a therapist? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, every day, hardcore, somebody just help me, please.
Yeah.
And so you start to think, a kid tantrum, does this mean you have to discipline? Do they need to get spanked? I am not a proponent of spanking. I'm not saying I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's just me personally.
We different.
Saran, he's open to, and so it sparks a lot of conversations with my parents too, because they spanked.
Yeah.
I was a lot. I'm very curious. I test boundaries.
Yeah.
And
so they like you. Okay.
One of my mentors always says your personality traits are amplified in your children.
For sure.
And I say, somebody pray for me, because Lord. But yeah, so I think that way, like, just kind of like exploring discipline without maybe like, spanking. And now my mom is like, maybe if I had to do it again, maybe we
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
spank
spanked,
as
maybe.
much.
I don't know. Who knows what's right or wrong, but that's kind of like maybe one of the differences.
Yeah, because there's no rule book.
That's the thing. And I mean, who really knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And times change and environments change, so.
I wonder if they spanked in Jesus' time.
I
Or
think
did he
so.
just like, did he like just not give them bread and water? Like,
Letting people hip was getting cut in Jesus' time, I think.
I mean,
can we say that? Do we have that?
I know.
I know.
That might just end up staying on the cutting floor. No, but you like honestly, you never know. I mean, we told plenty cut him,
Yeah.
or some anyway.
Yeah.
We were okay, and that's usually like the mindset. But
Yeah.
I think there's a different way of doing things. Like you can just take things away. You know, if the child likes, I don't know, watching TV. Okay, no TV for today and tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
you know, things that, and then you can sit and talk to them, which our parents, I don't know if they did that.
My parents did.
Like a little bit.
And that actually hit home for me. In some areas, I like to serve or be like a people pleaser with
Yeah.
certain things. So when my parents come to me and say, I'm very disappointed in you, well,
Oh,
I
boy.
cry in.
That
like
hits
I
home.
like that you
Yeah.
hitting me right here. I
Yeah.
gotta think about like
Like
no, other people is
happened.
like, yeah, say that. No, but true. But for me, like that's why you have to know your kids.
You have to.
Because I'm like the person who is very introspective, and I might
Yeah.
be a good person and looking at things from all different angles in
Yeah.
terms of how I interact with others. So
Yeah.
for me, that, and I love and respect my parents so much. So
Yeah.
that hits home for me.
Yeah.
Spanking, I mean,
you cut up and then it
Yeah.
is.
I remember one time it was like, I wanted to go to this party. I did something. I did something bad.
Yeah.
And it was like, either you could not go to the party or we could spank you. I'm like, spank me. I'm going to this party. Like,
wow.
so you know your kids and what
Yeah.
works for
Yeah.
them. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember last year, like I wrote my parenting tips
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, and one of my top 5 was like if you have more than one child, this
Mhm.
would apply to them. You are required to parent them differently.
Mhm.
Like I can't parent Layla the same way I parent Riley,
Right.
because I know she like off the rock, and Layla's like mild mannered.
Yeah.
So you know, you just required to parent them differently because they're different personalities.
Yeah.
They're never the same.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah. 2 different humans.
Just for our parents out there watching, thinking about having another baby, they're never the same. Don't believe the hype. Oh my goodness! And what was your relationship with your own parents like?
I mean, my relationship growing up, I mean, I'm very much like my mother.
Okay,
You
you become them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but just in general, like, you know, I'm very much like her. So growing up was, in my teenage years, was rough because I challenged her a lot.
Right.
And then it's like a mini you challenging you. And then at a certain point, it just clicked. Like, I feel like every kingdom has a queen. Like, she's the queen.
Mhm.
I'm not.
What did they say? No 2 women can live in one house.
Yes.
Like,
tough.
don't do
That
it.
don't work. And so, like, for me and my mom, it's evolved where, like, now we really are like best friends, right? That's my person. And
Yeah.
and my dad is like very, very chill, very cool, very
Yeah,
sweet.
he
So
really
it's like
is.
this space now where I come and visit them, and it's like a hug and a kiss and hey tats, and it's just,
Yeah.
they're my people, man.
Because now you have your own kids,
Mhm.
and I feel like they're able to see the fruits of their labor. Like they have done. Oh my God, she's done such a phenomenal job. She has her own, her own firm, or she has her own thing going on. Whether you worked a 9 to 5 or you just,
Mhm.
I'm proud of her, the career path that she's chosen. She's married. She has the kids. She's doing such a great job with them. She celebrates herself as a woman, like, so all
Mhm.
these things, and they're probably like, we can relax now.
Yeah.
We've done the Lord's work.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have to pay our bills anymore.
We
And
don't-
that's what they're
exactly.
most happy
Like,
about.
thank you, Jesus. No more bills for Tyrina. That's
Write that
amazing.
one off.
I know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about building a business,
Mhm.
building businesses and being self-employed, because I know you and your husband are self-employed.
Yeah.
I call that creating a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about that and how that actually came to fruition.
Yeah. So I probably started my first business in maybe 2021.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved back home from university. And so that was Prima Donna, which was like really fun. It was like fashion shopping parties.
Yeah.
And that kind of like flipped a light switch, because I remember at first, it was before like the recession. So I had like a couple of good months.
Yeah.
And I remember women would come, and it was just a fun environment, but it did really well.
Yeah.
And
that was like the
mom,
first
before. Like, man, I'm about to buy a Mercedes brand new in like 3 years. I was hyped. I was like, all you have to do is meet people's needs and give them what they want, and they give you money.
Yeah. And they pay me to be myself.
Right? Yeah, but so that was really fun. And then the recession hit, and, people just weren't spending what they would spend before.
Right.
And then I opened Brown Bag, which was a catering company.
Yeah.
And that's funny because I was learning as I worked. So, we had really delicious days and some days that were like,
Well, I didn't experience that. I didn't experience good food.
Good food, that's good.
Yeah.
I cried a lot in that business because payments don't play when it comes to like food, and it's 12 o'clock when my lunch is, and so so that was amazing, but then we moved on from there, and my mom actually was like, listen, I sent you to school, it's time for you to open your agency. You study marketing and public relations, like let's go. So it just worked out where I was able to land a really good client, and so I took the plunge, and the rest is history.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. And you and we always chat about a few days before our session, because I believe in transparency. And so Tyrina and I spoke about just that whole process, because she built her business the opposite way. So most people nowadays, it's okay, I want to start a business license, and everything that entails, and then social media. She did it the opposite way. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I actually I built Fusion Integrated Marketing Communications. We don't do any social media marketing, and not that that's a good thing. You should do social media marketing.
Yeah.
But built it just by building relationships face to face. So like I worked with someone who took a liking to me because he felt like I was a very hard worker, and enabled me to have an opportunity to pitch to a large client. And I had to pitch and go against big firms, and I won the pitch. And so that's how the business started. And I just was able to leverage my relationships and showing up professionally. And I didn't have kids then, so I worked 7 days a week all day. Like, that was my thing. I loved it. Yeah. So, you send me I didn't have boundaries like how I have to have boundaries now professionally. Yeah. So if you send me an email, at 5 o'clock in the morning, by 5:25, you have an answer type thing. And it enabled me to grow the business through personal and professional relationships. And I didn't have to market myself. It just kind of grew through word of mouth.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that's what's missing. Because we can be social and we can, DM and all this good stuff, but it's about creating relationships, because that's going to be the difference between, who can I call? Let's say I have an event at 5 o'clock. Who can I call at like 12 noon because someone I initially called fell through? Like, who can I call? Or if I can't call that person directly, can I call Tyrina, my friend, who can point me in the direction of somebody who can get it done and professionally?
Right.
Other than that, so you stuck.
Yeah.
Because you don't have no relationships. Either that or it's just about paying people.
Right.
And relationship, it's more than that.
That's like the currency that'll always, it's worth so much more, is the relationships you build and nurture. Yeah.
For sure. I totally agree with that. So entrepreneurship is like in your blood.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
Like, you can't even, it'll always be that.
Well, I think so.
Henceforth and forevermore, right?
Yeah.
And your husband is an entrepreneur as well.
He is. Yeah. He's a realtor. He's a real estate
How does that, or what do you appreciate about entrepreneurship now that you have kids?
I definitely appreciate the level of flexibility that it offers. So I'm kind of hardwired, and I don't know if it's a good thing, but in my head, it's kind of like, I have to wake up, I have to be to work at a certain time, and I have to work a certain amount of hours. So I'm not the entrepreneur I'm not the one who like works from the beach. I can't, like, I have to have like a certain environment to work. But because I have children, if I if I get a call or if I wake up and Luca's just extra, like, feels like he needs me in his space that day, I have that option, right, to stay with him, and that's kind of invaluable. And the fact that Saran has that option too, and the fact that he has some flexibility helps too, because sometimes, like, I'm working on the weekends, and so for us, I can't imagine not having the situation that we have.
And I think that the coronavirus taught us, like, we don't need to sit in every meeting. We don't need to be face to face. That thing can wait. We can communicate by email. We can do FaceTime. We can do WhatsApp video. We can do Zoom.
Yeah, listen, sometimes they are necessary, but I'm not a big fan of meetings. And so it's really nice that people realize that, 75% of those meetings never need to happen.
Or could be an email.
That could have been an email. That should have been an email. But it changed a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about the kids. We talked a little bit about you. We talked about entrepreneurship. Let's talk about your views on, I guess, what would have happened with you doing things the non-traditional way of family life and kids and getting married and everything that comes along with that. Because I think as a society, we're like, it's a judgmental zone. Like, it's no judgment zone is not even existed when it comes to, you have to get married and do the whole kids thing, and you have to do that first, and this is just what it is. Like, that's the be all and end all. Tell us a little bit about, like, how you feel about that.
For me personally, I was never the type of woman, young girl who dreamed about her wedding day. That was, I grew up with my mom. I dreamt about, like, having my own business and coming up with, like, cool plans and stuff like that. And I met Saran and then I was like, okay, I can marry this person, like, we gel. But I never really thought about, like, our wedding or whatever. I always thought that I would have my first child at, like, 36.
Okay.
That I would do all these things and I would have my kids, like, in my later 30s maybe. I think I wanted to be a mom and a wife, but it wasn't a priority. And then we met and we fell in love, and then we got pregnant with Luca. And it wasn't, like, a scary thing. It was kind of like we'd already been together for a little while. So it was like, okay, fine. We were scared when we got pregnant with Azai, because Luca was 10 months and then I got pregnant again. So we did things. So it was like, oh my God. And honestly, with that second pregnancy, I was embarrassed. Like, I was embarrassed to tell a little bit. Like, to tell my family and stuff, like, I'm pregnant again and we ain't married. We can get married probably. Like, this is my person. Like, we have such a solid relationship. But then, like, my dad is just, like, amazing.
They are, though.
Because I got pregnant, and he loves Saran. Don't get me wrong. When I got pregnant with Luca, he was like, this is a beautiful thing. And you don't have to marry Saran. Like, the child, Luca in and of himself is beautiful. So just so you know.
My dad told me you will not be the first or the last. And at that point, I was like, what? Like, I don't expect you to say that. Like, what?
But don't dads just know what to say? It's like, there's no pressure here.
And there's peace.
There's no pressure here. And then I got pregnant with Azai, and mommy was like, that boy better marry you now.
Sound like, yep, classic.
But that's just how it worked out for me. And I felt very safe in my relationship. And so there was never, for me, any fear about,
is this gonna happen?
But that's just how we did it, and people commented. But I don't really take much on. It's like, oh, Jesus, they have them two children. This is what you hearsay. Hearsay. Nobody two children.
You know what they say? Like, if you don't at me, if you don't say that to me, if you don't say it to my face, then it doesn't even matter.
People did say it to my face too. But I think the intention deep down was good,
was pure.
But people say things, and it's like, but that's the way we did it. And I think that you should celebrate every good thing in your life, even if the path is a little bit like this or other people don't agree with it. For me, at the end of the day, it's always happiness is the goal. Happiness and being a good person. If I'm not hurting other people and I'm happy, then I'm good. And I feel like that's how I feel about that's kind of how I look at everything. Like, we good, we happy, we secure, and we ain't hurting nobody. So I feel like sometimes people feel however they feel because they're taking on other people's judgments. And no, like, enjoy your joy. Like, be happy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whichever way you do your stuff. How, you know?
Like, and the kids are happy, and you're happy,
We can
and
be
you guys
good.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We good over here. You gotta stress about us.
I know. Yeah, don't worry about us. We good. We good. I promise you. Like, we good. What is the biggest thing you've learned from parenting?
I think patience is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a very patient person normally. No.
Oh boy.
I don't like to wait. If
Yeah.
I'm in a line, I'm that person that's like looking all around like,
Yeah.
hi, excuse
What's
me.
happening? Hi, there are 8 wickets. Why are there only 2 tellers?
Patience, and also that I'm a softie with my kids. I think because I could be like, in work, I could be aggressive because I have to be.
Yeah.
But with the kids, like,
Mhm.
you know, I don't want spank, I don't want to do this. And it's like, I'm the soft parent who, if I didn't have Saran, these children would be a
Yeah.
spoiled mess. So
Really?
yeah, just that, like, they're my little soft spot.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So are you the disciplinarian, or is he?
No, I don't know.
No, that ain't you.
No.
No, he does everything.
He has to do everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to go to discipline. I need to go to school. Someone needs to teach me, because he tries, like, no, you have to make him say this. Like, okay. Like, I'm just not good at it. I'm just overly, like gushy,
nurturing.
overly. Yeah.
And these are boys.
And they're boys. So, like,
Yeah.
he's very pivotal in, like, their upbringing, because I don't know how to give that to them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my last question is, was there something your parents did when you were a kid that you swore you'd never do as a parent whenever you became one?
It's so gross, though. Because, like, you know, when your kids have the little booger in their eyes, and so you lick your finger with your spit and you clean that out. And I was like, that's the nastiest thing ever. But, yeah. Because ain't nobody can say, we didn't wash your face this morning. Come, let me get this bug out your face.
Are you saying that you now do that?
I do that. I've done that a time or two.
I think everybody
Is that
does
okay
that.
in the age of Corona? I don't know. Sanitize.
Well,
We sanitize.
They are kids. They come from us. Everybody on set is laughing, by the way. They come from us.
Yeah, I swear I would
From our
never do
loins.
that. But yeah, I don't know.
I did that
See, I'm not alone. Speak your truth, Tonya.
this morning. I'm shame.
It is what it is.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm happy that I had you. This was amazing. And we got through it like this.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Tanya, you the bomb. This is
Thank
fun.
you. Oh, I hope you all got that, okay? I'm the bomb. Thank you. If Tyrina says it from Fusion IMC, we are
I
good
feel like
to
we
go.
just aged ourselves by saying the bomb. What did the kids ask Layla?
What do the kids say?
say?
What do the kids say, Layla?
Lit? Is
Lit?
lit still
Lit.
a thing?
They don't say lit anymore.
I don't know.
Well, we've come to the end of another session, another invigorating session, another amazing session. Thank you guys for joining us. My guest, Tyrina Rolle. Did I call you Tyrina Neely?
You know,
At
my
the
ID
start?
still says Neely, so I have two people.
This is Mrs. Rolle. Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to get into the new Tyrina Rolle. Not even, I said Tyrina. Is it Neely Rolle? She says no, it's just Rolle. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
being on
Tonya.
set. I couldn't have asked for a better time. And thank you for celebrating my 1-year anniversary. Yay!
Congratulations.
We did it. Thank you guys. See you on the next live session of Let's Chat Live. Take care. Bye.
That was
Yay,
fun.
we did it.
Fun.
Hey guys, you've made it to the end of our video. If you'd like to reach out, email us at letschat@TonyaWilliamsLightbourne.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more exciting sessions.